We spent the last few sessions examining most of the theory behind producing melodies. We've examined the principle of energy and how we can control it with pitch. We've examined the use of balance and contour to help make the melodies memorable. And then in the last session, we spent some of that looking at rhythm and repetition, basically the uses of motifs in music. Now, there are still some principles that I want to cover, namely dynamics and drive, but basically these are two subjects that we can only really touch on once we actually start writing some melodies down. So what I want to do for this session in particular is approach writing some melodies. Basically what I want to do is I want to utilise the theory we have so far, tie it all together and produce some hopefully catchy melodies. Now, obviously, as I said, these are going to be missing the drive and dynamics, and we haven't programmed timbres for them yet either, but we will work through to that. For the moment, I want to look at the theory now, how it can work, how it comes together in the concept of writing a full melody. Now, for these examples, I think the best way to approach them is though I'm writing a melody line first. Personally, this isn't the way I usually like to work. I have written a few tracks starting with melodies in the past. They've generally been remixes though. I do prefer to get the groove down first, but that's just me. You should work with however you feel comfortable. To start with, there's two approaches to melodies in my opinion. You have vocal melodies and instrument melodies. So what we'll do is look at these in a little more detail, starting with vocals. If you're writing a vocal genre of dance music, such as house, trance, vocal trance that is, lo-fi, trip-hop and so on, I'd actually recommend writing the vocals first, since they'll not only determine the pitch, as we discussed in an earlier session in this DVD, but they'll also determine the motif too. Now, what I mean by that is, listen to this track by the Beatles first. Now, I know it's not dance music and it's an incredibly overused example, but there's good reason for that. It's an incredibly good example of how lyrics determine the rhythm of the melody. So just listen back to this first.
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window.
Now, if you listen to his words there, you've got Eleanor Rigby. Then the second line follows that same motif, picks up the rice in the church. The motif there is basically determined by Paul's voice, and if you write any vocal genre of dance, you basically have to do the same. In dance music, for example, let's say your vocal line consists of my previous lyrical genius, I want to get high. That's no copyright to me, so if you want to use it, just pay me millions in royalties. Now, we could say there that I wanna get high. That's a 5-note motif there, and the second line could follow that using the same type of motif. For example, way up in the sky. So basically, we've got I wanna get high, way up in the sky. Can you see how the motif applies for both vocal lines there? I mean, obviously we could use different pitches for both lines, but the motif itself remains the same. And of course, we can always add a secondary motif to that, for example, for the next two lines in those vocals, and then maybe even another motif for the fifth line, and then it all repeats over again, basically creating a melody from three motifs. These three motifs then chain together to produce the phrase, which is basically our completed melody. Now, obviously, if you're going to write melodies for a vocalist, you're also going to have to consider pitch and basically writing the key that he or she performs in, because if you don't, it's going to sound out of tune. But if you're not writing a vocal genre and you're just going to go down the instrumental route like a lot of dance music, then you have pretty much total freedom on the key that you can write in. Now, we've discussed this before. With dance music, you'll find that about 80% of the time it's written in a minor mode. I'd say the other 16 or so % is in major. Now, that final 4%, you'll find that it's actually in one of the more esoteric modes. Now, by that, I mean that we spent this DVD banging on about the melodic minor scale, but if you recall in Fundamental 2 on bass, I actually touched upon the different modes available in music, and alongside our major and minor keys, our Ionian and Aeolian keys, we also had Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Locrian. So just because a lot of dance music is written in Ionian or Aeolian, it doesn't mean you should forget the rest. You have to understand that they're all perfectly feasible modes to write dance music in, and I just strongly urge you to try them out. It really is. It's incredibly strange how the different modes give off different flavours. Ionian, for example, it sounds very simple in my opinion. It's a poppy key. It's used in pop music a lot, and it sounds a bit nursery rhyme to me. It's great for melodies that are used in uplifting trance and some house, because it's a very uplifting melodic key, and it can quickly fill a dance floor, but it doesn't quite lend itself well for what I can only describe as, I suppose, darker genres such as techno or drum and bass. For genres like that, you tend to lean towards other modes. For example, Aeolian, we've discovered in this and the previous DVD, it's a minor key, it has a more serious edge. I've heard some describe it as a sad modal form, but I disagree. To my ears, it's more serious. It's got a let's get down to business feel about it. I suppose it could come across as sad if it was written with that feeling in mind, but when you write dance music in that key, it tends to give it a serious, edgy feel. Now, the other modes all exhibit different feels too. Dorian, for example, to me, it sounds a bit like folk music, but if you write in this mode carefully, you can make it sound really soulful. It's a very soulful key. A bit like you can have a sad or serious feel with Aeolian, you can have a folk music feel or a soulful feel with Dorian. Trip hop, that's one that actually sounds quite well in Dorian. Phrygian mode, well, to me that sounds like Latin. I always imagine flamenco when I hear something written in Phrygian. But saying that, a lot of modern classical composers are using Phrygian at the moment, so what do I know? I've only ever written in that mode twice, and one was actually a remix I did for I think it was Britney Spears I did. I wrote in Phrygian for that just to wind her up, really. Mixolydian. Now, to me, that gives off a feeling of rhythm and blues. Every time I hear it, I just imagine some R&B singer wailing over the top of it. But saying that, I know that Portishead have used Mixolydian in quite a few of their tracks, so it's another good one for trip hop and lo-fi in some respects. What else is there? We've got Mixolydian. Lydian. Well, Lydian is the complete opposite of Ionian, and a lot of jazz musicians seem to use Lydian. Now, I'll admit here, I'm not jazzy's biggest fan, especially that freeform jazz. It just sounds like a bunch of pissed up people trying to play an instrument to me, but I do listen to it to try and expand my horizons. So if you want that jazzy feel, if you're doing a jazzy chill out sort of track, Lydian's certainly worth a shot there. Locrian. I've yet to hear anyone write a piece of music in Locrian. It's possibly the weirdest scale you can hear. The intervals are just so disjointed and weird that if you write something in that mode, it doesn't make an awful lot of sense. So I'd say it's more of a theoretical scale. It exists because, like all the other notes, you can count from B upwards. Now, there's actually one more scale here that I should mention. I haven't covered it in any of the previous DVDs, and it's not because I'm trying to keep secrets from you. If you've been following the DVDs so far, you'll know that it's not my nature. I don't care telling you. I haven't mentioned it basically because it's so rarely used in dance music, and it's called the pentatonic scale. Now, this is incredibly simple, and it's sometimes called the 5-note scale because, well, it consists of nothing more than the 5 black notes on your keyboard. If you stick to just using those, you're writing in pentatonic. It's that simple. Admittedly, I've never actually written anything in pentatonic, so I can't really tell you how it sounds or feels. My bad. I really should write in it, actually. It could sound excellent. I have tried in the past, but I've always found myself drifting away into natural notes to just try and add something to it, but give it a go. Now, I'm not going to write melodies in all these different modes because basically I want you to try them out. And if you do try them out, post it on the forum and let me know how you think it feels, because I always like other people's opinions on how these different modes feel, and I'd be interested in what you think it feels like. So if you do go that far and give them a go, please post on the forum and let me know what you think, because it comes in useful for me. I just like to research things like that. Anyway, staying on track here. So we've chosen a mode, and we've chosen a key. How do we approach writing a melody? Well, using our theory so far now, it's actually quite simple, and we can break it down into some very simple steps. Step 1, we start by developing a motif, or a number of them. We need to begin by coming up with some very simple rhythmic ideas. They only need to be a few notes long, as you saw in the last session. We don't need to go mad and come up with a rhythm that's 10 or 15 or 20 notes long. We only need 3 or maybe 4 notes with a rhythm. Once we have those down, we can then move on to step number 2, pitch. We can use our theory of steps and skips to control the energy of the melody. If we want to smooth out the energy, we can use a series of steps. If we want to really inject some power and an energetic feel, then we can use larger skips. And then finally, we just employ step 3, which is balance. We just bring some balance into the equation. We ensure we move to our dominant and then return to our tonic, or another note, provided we do include the tonic and dominant playfulness there. But basically, with balance, we just need to ensure that what goes up comes back down again, and what goes down comes back up again. So with that, I think what we'll do is we'll get some ideas down now. We need to start with the motif, basically. We need to come up with a rhythm. I want to show you how simple some rhythms can really be for dance music. So what we're going to do is, I've got a timbre down here. Actually, I should mention there that sometimes it helps to get the timbre down first, mainly because your MIDI and your synthesis work so closely together. You've got to think if you turn your release on your synth envelope quite long, it's going to affect the MIDI. It's going to make the notes join together. So sometimes it's worth having your timbre down first. But we're not doing that. I'm just going to write some general melodies, and then we'll write timbres in later sessions. Now, one thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start simply. I'm going to employ the techniques we discussed gradually through programming some melodies, but the purpose of this session is basically just to see how I like to approach it. And what I'm trying to say there is that the way I'm doing this isn't the only way to do it. We're now at the stage again, which I don't really like. It's my own ideas and my creativity, and it's something I really can't give to you. I can show you the theory and I can show you how I do it, but I can't give you my creativity. If I could, I'd hand it to you on a plate. I don't care, use it. But so what I'm going to do here is just my ideas. So you're going to have to experiment and come up with something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this playing back. Then we're just going to come up with a motif first, a very simple motif. I think we'll go for 3 notes. 1, 2, 3. 3 notes. Right, let's just spread these out and get some sort of, some sort of rhythm going. Spread that. Oh. That's alright. I'll copy that over to there. And there we go, melody done. Not really. I'll add a bit more to this, I think. Change its key. You may notice by now, I quite like the key of G. I think what we'll do, we'll chord that. We'll chord it up a bit and make it a bit thicker. This is what they do in trance, by the way. They never use single notes, it's always chorded. Chord it again. Make it that bit longer, I think. So if you're writing trance, remember to chord your notes. The thing is, we've got no pitch movement. We've got nothing to make it really memorable. So this. Might sound better there. We'll make this longer. I want to incorporate some more pitch movement into it, but I quite like how that's running like that. What's that on there? Move them down to there. Now, we can make them chorded to our. Be there. Grab these now and move them down to. Oops. There. So let's just. Oops. Let's just change this back in there. It's not sounding bad. Let's do that. No, that doesn't sound right there. Well, it's only a small rhythmical idea, and it actually sounds alright, that. I mean, it doesn't sound too bad at all. If you listen back to that, it's quite. The only thing with that, though, is the only memorable parts we've really got in there. I don't know if you noticed this, but it's where we have pitch changes. That's the only bit that really sticks in my mind when that pitch change comes in. That makes it memorable. I mean, it sounds okay. The timbre isn't great. There's no processing, but in general, it sounds okay. I think what we'll do is we'll actually keep that and we'll apply some synthesis to that later. But the thing with this is it's not really that memorable. You know, the reason that it's not really memorable there, as far as I'm concerned, is there's no contour, there's no balance, and there's no real pitch energy there either. I mean, we're just using chords like they would in trance, for example. I mean, that's a typical trance lead there. We'll probably do a trancey type timbre for that later, but it's not really memorable. There's not a lot in that that's making it really stick out in my mind. There's not a lot of memory there, you know, not a lot to make it stick in. So I think what we'll do is we'll write another one. We'll move on. We'll write another one, and we'll try more pitch movements. I think in this next one, try and make it a bit more memorable than this one is. I'll just move this back down to here, so back over one bar again. Now the thing is with our last melody, well, it was all right, but it wasn't that memorable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change pace here, and rather than using a motif, we're going to rely entirely on pitch and contour. And basically, this is how a few dance musicians like to work. They don't like to use motifs; they just use pitch and contour to control the music. So we'll start by basically Just knocking in notes like that. There we go. And what we do is we take that note and move it to there. And take that note and move it to there. And all we're doing is we're just pitch shifting these notes. What a common technique this. Listen to that. Oops. Not impressed with that key. Would I used G in the last one, I'll use a different one, I'll go to F. Take that now and to F. Then what we can do is we can take this note here and we can go even that. It's so much easier playing this on a keyboard sometimes, you know. And there we go, basically. But sounding a bit. I think we need some difference in here. Add a bit of change, I think. So these bottom notes, set them up to a G. I'll take these two. We'll have to move them up to get that G. I'll take these two notes. That's sounding a lot better there. We need to go further, really, don't we? Move that one there. Perhaps we'll play around with the timing here. Move those to there. I think we'll. That one to there. Onto there. As you can see, it's just playing around with. I think what we'll do is we'll go a bit further than that. A bit more pitch changes in there, I think. You see, all I'm doing, I'm kind of keeping a straight line so that the notes are occurring every beat pretty much. And so we're not really employing a motif as such. We're using the motif in pitch instead. We're using pitch and contour. I just think we need to go a little bit further. So we'll go to there. I think we'll go. Move up a key again, and then we'll take those three there. Then it can occur straight after. I think that will to there, and we'll take those two there. We'll make them go after that. Take them up to there. You see, it's turning out quite trancy, this one. So, let's see, what can we do next? We'll take these bottom three again, and we'll keep that like that, I think. And we'll take that one and put one there, and then one there again. Bit of a change of rhythm here, you see, because we're approaching close to the end of 4 bars there, so we just want to change the rhythm just a little bit. So this is my own creativity. You just got to make things up as you go along, but you can see how I'm working with it, how I'm listening to it and playing around with it and trying to do something that's what I need to do is move on there. Perhaps move on there. And again, as you can see, it's just a case of moving things around, trying to get a general idea here of where we want to put things, how we want to move notes. What I think we'll do here, you see, is we'll move to there, and I think we'll move possibly down to our original key again. Instead of that, I think what we'll do is we'll take all them and them, and we'll repeat this part of the motif again, or at least it's not really a motif, is it? It's pitch, contour, but you can see it. You see how a pattern's starting to emerge. You see the wave patterns there, and down at the bottom as well. We're creating this wave, and that's our contour, and that'll make this more memorable than the last one, which didn't have so much of a contour to it. Let's listen to that. I think what we need to do is copy those over again. But this is where we reach something, this final part here, we want to have a bit of a contour to it, because we don't just want to repeat that and repeat that and repeat it and repeat it. We need to play with just these end notes just to make sure that this is signifying the end. This is the end of our track, or the end of our melody at least. So we'll move that to the end, and I think we'll perhaps go a little bit higher. Perhaps take that note, which would be there, I imagine. So we get you see how that works now. If you look at that there, we've got our contour there. You can see our contour going in and out. We're using pitch. We're not so much using motif here, because if you look, if we level all these notes on one line, you'll see that pretty much we're running just with straights there. But just by moving pitch, we're controlling energy. We're using some skips, and then skipping all the way. We're skipping all the way up here, and we're waving as well, and then it's at the very end of the melody there that we just want to change it slightly, just signify that this is the end of our 4-bar melody, because if we would have kept that the same, it would have got a bit too repetitive. So we just add that little bit of excitement by throwing a few notes around there, which basically gives us the if you listen back to that, it's certainly more memorable than the last. I can't even remember what the last one was now. I'm sure I'll refresh my memory when we get to synthesis. But this one's even more memorable to me, and I think it's down to this pitch part here, where these pitches move here. That's the most memorable part to me. I don't know about you, but that really sticks in my mind there when that goes da 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 da. So. It's alright that. I think what we need to do though is I think we need to move on again. We'll do another melody now. I think this time we'll use motif again. We'll use motif and pitch again, and we'll see what we come up with, because that's not sounding bad. Right, let's go for another melody now. I think we're going to simplify a bit from before. This time we're going to use a bit of a motif, I think. Not sure on what motif, so what we'll do is we'll cycle this and I'll come up with a motif first, and then we'll throw a few notes around, get some melody, some pitch and some contour in there, some balance, and we'll see if it's more memorable than what we've done so far. So just start that playing back and just knocking. That'll do to start with. Let's go for another. I'll go for an A this time. I like working either side of the G. Go for an A. That sounds alright. What we'll do then is throw this up, I think. Go higher with that. Try. Another one there. Can you see how it works? You work with a small motif and then you play with your pitch. And obviously we know we've got to go like that, so I could say, well, this next note I'm going to bring up to here and then I'm going to start working down again. There, I'll go there. Oops. I think now we'll work down. Let's go down again, I think. There. There you go, we've got our contour already there. So let's take all these. Move them to there. What we'll do is we'll pitch that up, I reckon. So. Logic. Come on, logic. There we go. So. Let's move this one. Move it there. Bit high, that thing. Oh. That's it. So now we've contoured up, we've come down. I'd say we contour up again. We need to work up there. So, let's say, copy that there. Not there. We'll go like that. I think. Go down. After it, go to there. Down. And that final one there. That's not sounding bad. Make it a bit longer, eh? Oh, I think that the way to do that is we'll take this one. an A, so we can use a B, we can use a C there, can't we? Take that. Right, so obviously we need to go there. Oh. What's happened to you? It's so annoying. So we're going somewhere now. We'll copy that there, we'll copy that idea there where we had 2. So we'll do our second one there like that. That's there. Now again, wave like that, so we want a wave here, I think. We're starting to work upwards here, so I think we want to work up around here. We'll go there, so let's say... Oh, well, I think we'll work back down again. So we'll go to, say there. Work down again. Let's do another one. Take it up to 4 bars. We'll keep this motif. You see, in a way here we've got this motif down here. You can hear this motif playing. Have you? And then we've also got a secondary kind of motif up here as well. So there's 2 motifs in there really if we want to look like that. We've also got our contour like that. And I think what we need to do is for our end, to end this, we need to kind of contour this. We need to kind of copy some of this so it sounds like we're reaching an end and coming back to this. So I'll copy this across. I don't know. We started at A there, didn't we? Try that there. Oh. It's throwing it out the window in a minute. We'll take those. We're just changing this motif here at the end just to signify this is the end of our passage. That's not quite right, that. Got to a G. Let's get some of these in. Let's see. Go directly after that. That's it there. As I can move that. Change the motif at the end here. I think it needs a slight change in the motif will signify the end of this bar. You know, the difference that makes, just a slight change in this motif. Not so sure about that there. Another one of those. Arms there. Magic mouse. There we go. It's too early that. So we change this motif here ever so slightly so we've got the... all I've got to do now is come up with an ending here. We'll end on a high there. Oh, I think we need to go higher than that. Then we'll build up, I think. Just need to do something here. I think we need to go a little bit higher, probably as high as that. Lengthen that one. No. That's sounding alright. I think we changed the timbre on that a bit, so we'll change it and sound a little bit better. It's certainly more memorable to me, that now. That's more memorable than any of the others we've done so far. Certainly because we've got a lot in there. We've certainly got motifs now. We've got motifs at the bottom here. We've got motifs at the top here, and we even changed the motif at the end here to signify that we're about to wrap around. This is the end of our passage. So there's a slight change in motif and pitch, but we've also got our contour, our flow there. I think what we'll do is we'll try another melody now. We'll simplify even more now, and I think we'll just use a one-note melody. That's sounding alright. That's not bad. Not sure about this end. I'd like to play with that end probably for another 20 minutes or so, but I don't want to run out of DVD time. So we'll move on to the next one. I think. Let's think of another melody to go with this now. Let's try another melody now. What we'll do on this one, I think we'll make this. We'll follow our theory exactly, I think, and we'll make this quite simple, but also make it ebb and flow and use single notes. Just see if we can make this quite memorable. So I'll start again by playing it, and I'll come up with a motif first. That's one motif there. I'm just thinking of another one now. So we've got two motifs taken here, that first one and that second one. So what we'll do is do a G sharp this time, I think. Right, now let's play around with a bit of. What I'm going to do, I'm going to work down this time. This one, I think. flowing, contoured melody as well. Let's go a bit higher there. It's that one. Then we'll drop down there. On there. Sounding bad. Let's bring it over here. Copy this one down. G. Flowing motion like that. And I think what we'll do is we'll come down again and then we'll flow up. Now you can see there how I've followed our principles before. We've got, see them there? We're skipping and then we're stepping. So we're following the motion, we're following our contour, and we're also skipping and then stepping. I think what we're going to do is I think we'll skip down and then we'll step up again and then we'll do a sudden skip right down there and then, I don't know, we'll step up again and skip down and somewhere over there, I don't know yet. Let me think about this part first. I'd say we'll get that and we walk down again, let's say. So if we go go there. Oh, perhaps there. What we'll do is come back up there, I think. And then we'll go across there. We need to go up there, don't we? So let's we need to go up again to there. And then go there. You see there? Flowing. I think what we'll do now is we'll do a mad skip down there because we've walked up there. Because for example there, we've skipped up, we've walked down. We've walked up, we're going to skip down now. And we'll see how memorable it is, because this is certainly making it more memorable. All our techniques together now are making this a lot more memorable than any of our other melodies. So let's do a huge skip down now. Where do we want to go to? So we want to go to, I'd say probably there. There. Let's say we'll skip down again, and this time we'll go even lower. Oh, it's going to be too early. It'll be there, won't it? So then we step up, then we skip down. So we skip up, step down. Step up, skip down, we've got our contour. I'll go back to that key actually, because we need to work back up now obviously. Let's put that on there. Copying that idea there, our melody. Our motif, sorry. Also what kind of follow a motif along here, the same rhythmic energy. puts that there. And what we'll do is we'll go there. Go back down to there. Widen that a bit. No, that doesn't quite sound. I want to skip down because I've stepped up mostly there, so really, it's not quite right there. Try that. That's not bad. I'll skip again, really. Is it? Nope, not right there. Gotta follow motifs. You see, we're following the motifs. We're following motifs as we come along, so. Oops. Right, now we need to go somewhere for this end, don't we? That one. That one, I'd say there. Put another one there. Now, you can almost feel the energy there. We need that speed at the end there, don't we? We need that. Can you hear it? You can almost sense it, really, can't you? You can feel that at the end there. It needs to go fast at the end there. So let's employ that in. Let's get this going pretty fast. So we need to move up there, don't we? Move up to the sharps. And there we go. I'd say that one's pretty much done now. If you listen to that now, you can. That's got to be the most memorable motif, most memorable melody, sorry, that we've done so far there. And basically, the reason is because it follows every one of our guidelines. If we skip up, we step down. If we step up, we skip down. We've got the contour. We're playing with tonic and dominance. It's all there. We've followed every technique we've discussed so far, and because we've done that in this one particular melody, we've made the most memorable melody there. So as you can see, the most memorable melody is down to the energy in the pitch, the contour, the balance, and the motif. We've copied the motifs across, we've copied them around, and then we've just skipped up, stepped down, which also gives us that contour, and that's made the most memorable melody. Now, we've programmed quite a few melodies there, and I hope you've now got an idea of how you can approach them. Obviously, you don't have to follow what I did here. The whole purpose of this session was basically to tie all the theories together so far and come up with some melodies, but obviously you don't have to work the way I do there. I just kick notes around, come up with motifs and get general ideas, but you now know the theory, so have a go at putting it into practice yourself. I'm not here to do the job for you, I'm just here to show you how you can approach it and show you the theory, but nothing's going to replace your own experience at this. You need to sit down and have a go at employing all the techniques we've discussed so far to create your own melodies. Now, saying that, I haven't quite finished yet, so don't disappear on me yet. Don't go writing melodies and forget about this DVD, because there's more things I want to discuss. Basically, I want to discuss dynamics and their importance in melodies. So, in the next session, what we'll do is we'll do just that.